back here with a look at Caspa. You can see Bitcoin here on the daily has bounced off the 50-day moving average. All right, that is a very good sign. So far, it's holding. Right, we bounced off it back here. This was back in June. What was it? June 6th. Just a couple days ago. All right, now we're coming down and bouncing off again. We do have a lower high coming in than over here. Okay, so that's something to pay attention to. Now you can see here, looks like a you got your 5 wave up on this thing for sure. And the Elliott waves, I am going to put out a newer video here within the next few days. I apologize when I get some time here. I'm going to get it out over there to the members. But you can see here, you have numerous waves here. Looks like a 5 wave up, and then you have over here on the corrective mode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, that's a little ugly there. There we go. It's a little bit better. But you have 5 waves down there also, right? Now you would be looking for a start back to the upside, correct? Now if we put a Fibonacci on this. All right, and look where we're at for a bounce area. And you'll notice a lot of times these will bounce on the 50% area. Right, the closing candle will be on there. It looks like a wave 2 back, but you can see this thing went the whole way down through here to the 50-day moving average. And most good traders out there are going to be watching this 50-day moving average, and that would be a great entry. All right, take a chance there. Stop loss, just down below it. You can see over here, it ended up, let's get this off here, ended up wicking down through a little bit. But the 50-day, a lot of times, is going to hold you. You want to be on the upside of that 50-day moving average. Back over here, right, you can see the down, what it did over here, got below the 50-day moving average. That's not where you want to be, right? You want to be above that. Let's go on weekly. Just a little tip for everybody out there. Now you can see how far we're getting away from it over here, right? Look at the 50-day is way down here. Price is way up here, okay? And you can see how it always comes back to that moving average, right? Run up here, pull back to the moving average. Run up here, pull back to the moving average. Run up here, maybe this comes a little bit deeper maybe. Would not be shocked one bit to see that. Like I said before, this seems a little shallow. It's not much of a pullback. If you put a fib on this thing, and look at it, what do you got? The 236? That's not very deep, right? We're right up here. Normally you would be down into here, 93,000. Maybe 88. It could come down here, end up meeting this 50-day moving average. This thing moves up through here, keeps coming, right, making its way, and price ends up working its way down there and then heading up out of here. Very possible, right? So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. The weekly RSI, let's see where it's at. Right at the top. This thing, I'm sure, is going to turn back to the upside. Your monthly looks fabulous. Look at that monthly, and this is going higher. It has taken out this prior high, right over here. It makes me pretty confident in saying it's going to go higher eventually here. We had this high over here. We ended up taking it out here, so it's through your 786, 618 area. Should be heading towards that 130. Looking for that, maybe a top there. Might end up being a top, guys. And then, in the meantime, we're going to have our run here. Now, let's get that off there. Okay, look at the monthly's heading up. You got your 12 hours still coming down, just about corrected, right? I mean, and this could head up and finish this last wave. It doesn't have to go very much deeper here when you come out here on that weekly that I showed you out here. With the 50-day way down here, we could get that push up to 130, and then the big pullback. It looks to me like this is keep turning up. All right, on a 12 hour, that thing's about ready to head back up. 8 hour, right on the bottom. Looks awesome. 4 hour heading up, looks good. You know, you have a down here you have a support line coming up through here if you're drawing this on your charts, and then up here you have a resistance line coming down through here, right on the 4 hour. Now if you go in a little bit closer, where we took a trade was this right in here. Alright, right through here. You have a support coming up here, and you have a resistance coming down through here. Now let's zoom in a little bit on a 15-minute, and you can see a break there of that line. Right, it's going to come back down here, retest this area now as support, and then it should take off to the upside, I would imagine. Alright, see that break here? You had a resistance line. You got the break. Normally you should wait for a pullback to enter, but sometimes you don't get that pullback. That's why I like to enter on the break. Right, it's probably going to pull back down here, retest this area, and then head up. That's more than likely what it's going to do. If you do 10-minute, it's just about at the top. Alright, so be looking for a pullback down to this trend line, and then a bounce. Where could this be heading? We take a look here on the zoom in a little bit. Gonna put a fib on here. Yeah, there you go. Isn't that crazy how this works? Your 618 and 702 are right near the top of this this top resistance area coming through. We're just looking for a push, you know, up to here on our trade. That'll give me over 100%. You know, if you want to join up and trade with us, leverage trade, we have 175 members. It's a level 3 in the Discord. Come check us out, man. I think you'll enjoy it. We have a great time in there, and we make money, right? Bitcoin dominance, what we've been looking at forever, right? The weekly, this thing's starting to look weak, guys. It really is. Look at this weekly RSI, 52 and a 50. Not very bullish, right? The monthly, that's at a 98 and a 95, getting weak. The daily, 44 and a 31, it has turned up. And this is probably it. You know, it should be hopefully the last hurrah for this thing, I hope. And what we could be looking at is through that 786, right up here, that 67 area. You know, hopefully we get this last pushover and we get this alt season started. That's what I'm waiting for, man. That's where all our money is going to come. That's when leverage trading is going to get crazy, guys. That's when you're going to have them 30% moves in a day. You know, on a 20x leverage, it's at a 6x in a day. You know, that's when it's going to get fun. If you guys are interested, I use, we're going to look at that Caspa chart here, Bitunix. I love this site a lot. Alright, they have a new, check this out. They have a thing going on right now. That's the academy. You can go over there and learn about leverage trading and stuff. But they have this new thing going on. If you check in every week, you get a mystery box up to right down here. Alright, this one here was for up to 10,000. Up to $20. This one here was trading volume of 100,000. That's not a lot when you start trading, guys. It's not. This one here was up to 50 bucks on a $250,000, and I just went over the million here. Trading volume of a million up to $100. I think this one I ended up getting a $70 mystery box on it. And down here, you check in every week and have 20,000 in volume, up to 10 bucks. 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row, then the 4th week up to 50. Alright, then you start checking it again. The next one is after 4 weeks up to 100, and then it keeps going up every 4 weeks up to 200, and then the next one's 300. And these guys, they have great charts, man. You know, I would appreciate it if you use a link in the video. Helps the channel out a lot, and I really like Bitunix, you know, a lot. I use this thing every single day. Their charts are super fast. Weeks, their charts kind of, you know, are a little slow. I like the site, but I want fast charts when I'm leverage trading. You know, you're talking money. So I want fast charts. Crypto bubbles. The last hour. I guess look at Farcoin. Who would have ever thought in $1 billion market cap for something called Farcoin that does absolutely nothing? Nothing at all. Has no utility to it at all. You know, bonk. These meme coins. You know, I've talked to a few people that they're members over in the members area about starting a cryptocurrency here. You know, and got a couple people. You know, they're very interested and looking at maybe. You know, maybe start one up. Maybe one that actually has utility that you can actually use. You know, so we'll see. But anyway, here for the day, a little bit red, right? Bitcoin had that pullback. Caspa down here, minus 8.2%, 8.1 now. It's starting to move. I was thinking about, I didn't know if I wanted to take Caspa or Bitcoin long. Let's look at Caspa. Caspa's getting a nice bounce here. Looks like a fifth wave to me. I think this thing is ready to head up. All right, now if this thing breaks this line, I will be going long on Kaspa, right? Because I should have took a long here on this bottom. I was watching it. I wanted to get the video out, and I still could get in. I could wait for the pullback. Look at that, 1618. I think that's done. I think it's reversing now, heading back to the upside, right? Let me get this long up here. Now let's zoom out a little bit. This is the 1 hour. Let's go out to 4 hour. And you see a bigger wave right here, right? Let's get that off here. On the 4 hour, here we go. Right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go out in the 8. Now things are starting to look a little bit more clearer, right? They are to me, for sure. You had this support line coming up right up through here. All right, you lost it. You had wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, is this fifth wave done yet? I don't know. Now, inside of that is that bigger bounce up towards that resistance line. The measured move for this is right about there, and it has pretty much done it. You know, when you look at that. But, you know, does it have one more push? The 8 hour RSI, look at that. Heading just about straight up, ready to go. 12 hour, just about at the bottom. You got that low and a higher low. You got bullish divergence on the 12. The daily is actually heading down, but down here on the bottom, it's trying to curve back to the upside. You can see it down here. All right, we're below that 50-day moving average on the daily here. All right, we talked about that with Bitcoin. It's huge to regain that. It absolutely is. That is a major area. One area here is at 8 cents. That was support right through here. Right, so a regain of 8 cents would definitely, make me more confident that the bottom could be in here, okay, for Caspa. Now, if this thing, let's go out on the weekly, and we're going to look at the price targets. Got the weekly coming down, trying to curve back up. The monthly, look at that. Monthly is at a 9 and a 7. Looks absolutely phenomenal. Now, if this thing starts back to the upside, what could be some targets we're going to be, watching for this? Well, if we put a fib on here, this could be a great long. Over there in Discord, guys, go look at this. This thing starts back to the upside, and that is a bottom. Let's put a line there and see if we have any major supports through here that could indicate a bottom here for this. Let's go on the weekly. All right, look at the support areas. Oh yeah, look right through here. Pull this over here. This lines up perfect with this closing candle. Got some closing candles through here, but closing candle here lines up pretty decent with, what about on a monthly? Well, we got a wick down here that ends right on that line. Very good chance that is at bottom. You know, this starts back up. Let's take a look. Good retracement will be up towards 10-11 cents, up to 6.8702. And we get up there and get through there, then we're looking back at 16.6. But very good chance bottoms in, guys. These RSIs just look phenomenal. A lot of bullish divergence going on. So keep an eye on this. We will definitely be watching it. I'll check back in a day or so, and we'll see what happens here. But we are getting a very nice bounce off this bottom. RSI just about reset, ready to turn back up on the 12, the 8. Look at the 8, 0 and a 0. Once again, you got some bullish divergence in here. Look at this nice bounce starting. If you're looking to get in on this, I would let it run and wait for the first pullback. Now, if I was watching this, I would have took a shot down here. Because your risk to reward of this running back up to losing maybe a stop loss down here, your risk to reward is astronomical. I mean, on a 10x on this, if this heads back to 10 cents, or 20x, you're talking a lot of money, right? So go over there, check that level 3 out. Please check Bitunix out, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day, everybody.